All right, hey there, everybody. This is Adam the Tent Guy, and I'm with Justin from Party Rental Knowledge. His YouTube channel is new, but he's going to be making more videos. Justin was a Patreon of mine, and then we became friends. And then I kicked him off of Patreon because why does he got to pay to talk to me? But Justin came and helped out one day, and it was cool because I get in this mode like you're a new person and like trying to tell you things, and you're like, I already know how to do that. And I was like, oh
Look,
yeah, you do.
please don't try to teach me a clove knot or clove
Yeah.
hitch. Like,
Yeah, I tried showing you a clove hitch, and you're like, I already know how to do that. I'm like, oh, right. So it
please
was
don't
good.
try to teach me.
Right. I was super glad to
I
have you
learned,
that day.
I learned. I still learned a lot though during there. You know what I mean? It's
Did
like
you?
the nuances. Learn a lot about business and stuff like that. Like once you put up a tent, you kind of put it up 100 times.
Right. I was so glad to have you that day because I had an employee
you
who
needed me.
you saw her. She was promising. I say she. Everyone's like she.
I didn't think she was gonna show up.
She showed up.
I think she wasn't gonna show up. The story you told me, I was like, oh, she's not gonna show up.
Well, we put her on cleaning chairs that day, but she wasn't as promising as I was led to believe. She was kind of lazy and talks too much.
You wanted her to receive that order, and we ended up receiving it anyways.
Yeah, we did. So that day was a difficult day because of so much running around because I had my little truck. And
you forget them. I forgot the feet for my legs in my tent today. One tent.
You did?
Today. I had one tent. Forgot the feet.
Yeah, we forgot a center pole yesterday, an hour away. So that sucks.
And it was on Amsterdam Road. It was on New Amsterdam, and I put Amsterdam. So I was like,
oh.
Yeah, so I had an extra 15 minutes there.
Yeah, that happens occasionally. But I was glad to have you because we had that 30 by 60 later in the day. And even though we eat 30 by 60 frame tent, even though we left so I could get back home because my kid was in soccer.
What would you call it? Because the sides were flat.
That's called gable.
So it's cable.
Gable with a G.
With a G. All right.
So a 30 by 60 frame tent is gable when it's flat. It's hip end when it goes up.
It would just be 30 by 60 gable.
Yeah. So that was the only thing.
You really want to get nerdy?
Right. That was the only thing the whole day you didn't know was just those two new pieces to that frame tent.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. But again, it was really great having you there because it would have been so much longer if I went out with the other person. So it was good having you there.
Yeah.
But we got a few people joining in. Hey, John.
I can't get it straight on video, just the other way.
It's all right. And hey, Carlos, and hey, Randy. So Justin kind of got started in bounce houses, his own bounce houses and tents this year. But before that, you worked for rental companies and you also worked for a carnival company. So you know the ins and outs of carnival stuff.
Oh, my God. So, all right. I guess I'll just give you the rundown. We'll just give the whole start. You like can't? Is it Mike's Hard?
That's all I got left.
All right. So, all right, let's start from the beginning. My dad is from Rattlesnake Ridge, Kentucky, by Moorhead. My mom is from Buffalo, New York, over here in Lovejoy. And they met each other in Washington, D.C. in the carnival. I don't know when. Then they had me. I was born at Sisters Hospital in Buffalo. And then 3 weeks later, I was swimming in the Gulf of Mexico in Florida.
Nice.
And then at 3 months old, I was in the Rose Bowl parade in California. And then I just laid off from there. There's a whole bunch of other places after that.
Right. Get to the carnival.
Listen, my brother was born in South Carolina on Slough night. So I was like born in the carnival. I did the games. I didn't do the rides. So I set up tents, took down tents. I flashed joints and sold teddy bears to people who didn't want them.
Right.
And I just grew up in a life of just showmanship and entertainment.
Right.
So there's bounce houses there, rock walls, all kinds of stuff. So that was a lifestyle for me. For it still is. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I went and did Carney Bum like 2 years ago. I call it Carney Bum now because this business has everything the carnival has, but better. So now I can get paid if it rains still, like all kinds of stuff. Like your carnival life is miserable. Dog eat dog world.
Right.
So then I grew up, I started going to school here in Buffalo, and this is where I did most of my education, besides Florida. And then I worked for a tent company, started doing tents. So I learned a lot of tents, and then I wanted to like travel, and well, I didn't even want to travel. I like traveling, and I found a job just doing bounce houses and tents. But they traveled cross country for corporate events, doing major functions for all kinds of stuff. So I started doing that with them. I started doing the work of 3 people myself. So like, you know what I mean? It's like I presented it after a while, but in all reality, if I found somebody my age that could do what I did, I might give them $1 more, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I would definitely take full on advantage of that while I can. So, but I learned so much from the people that taught me pretty much, who I say I learned from pretty much. And yeah, they got it down to a science. They got low crew, multi-million-dollar business. So they're also doing a lot of stuff illegal. So there's that too. So I don't do that. Like playing with DOT hours, all kinds of crazy stuff. So then I ended up going on the road and then traveling some more. And then I decided I was going to go do the carnival with my dad. So then I haven't worked in the carnival booth since I was a kid to like just give somebody a break. And the first night that I ever worked in a game was a Saturday, and I grossed $1,300 on a balloon store where you just pop the balloons.
Right. Why don't you?
Huh?
What are some of the secrets or shiesty things to some of these games? If you can
Man, the
reveal it.
carnivals are dying. If I tell you, it's just going to take money out of their pockets.
Okay. Well, I know there's the shooting the ball, the basketball, the hoops smaller or oval whatever.
It's an oval, and it says non-regulation rims, but you can get it in. You got to go. Don't try and swish it. You got to go for a bank shot. It's got to be perfect.
Okay, and I also know that the hitting the hammer down to the thing, they can adjust the pressure. No, I saw some dude at my local carnival doing that.
Yeah.
He made the pressure less for his friends, and they all dinged it.
Yeah.
And then he turned it back down, and then you couldn't hit it. I didn't know that was a thing. But
there's some tricks. I'll tell you one because it doesn't make it as easy. I'll give one tidbit for your channel because I love it so much. So now there's the cat rack. It's where you look at. There's 3 shelves, and there's clowns on there going across all each shelf, and like there's hair coming out of it, so you have to hit it dead center, and it looks bigger than it is from the first place. And then it's sitting on this shelf. Well, there's this tarp that catches it in the back. Well, if you aim for the lower shelves, the tarp you're not supposed to put weights on the tarp because that's just plain like fucking wrong. So you buy a shit ton of balls, and that weighs the tarp down back. So you keep a shit ton of balls in there because you're not allowed to use weights. I use the fucking awning rods and throw them in there when I grew up wild. So yeah, you know what I mean. But so now the balls are pulling the tarp all the way, you know what I mean, against it. So now you throw it at the bottom shelf. The clown hits the back of the tarp and stays on the shelf because you have to knock it fully off.
Okay.
So the secret to that game is, 1, have a good arm, and 2, you aim for the top shelf. That's the most gap there is if they do it right.
Okay, gotcha. You know what I mean? And how do you win the bottle toss with all those rings and get it on the center one and win the big prize?
I'm not telling anybody.
You're not telling. All right, you tell me later. You tell me later.
I thought I told you.
Yeah, you did. I think I remember it. I won't reveal it. Well, okay, so let's get into this year. This year, Corona I don't know if I want to say the name because YouTube doesn't like the name, but the whole thing happened and you just decided to buy your own bounce houses and stuff. So how did that go for you?
I didn't happen before. I was looking for some more plow stuff in March, and then that's what I'm getting ready to do right now. I'm doing all plow stuff pretty much. Like I got one tent, but I just sold 3 contracts. So I'm looking for a plow, and then I bought some vending machines. I lied. And then I bought some vending machines, and I'm on there, and there's some bounce houses. And I'm like, 5 of them, 5K. Obstacle course, a monkey, and then 2 of them, one with a slide, a combo, and then 2 regular ones like castles, a boy one and a girl one. So that it was like 5K. The one was like pretty much new. The monkey, it still looks pretty much new because it doesn't rent as much as everything, but it's awesome, that monkey one. So I bought it for 5K, and then I had a whole bunch of other money set up. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start buying little stuff. Then boom, Corona hit. So then I was like, okay, now I'm fucked or screwed. Or sorry, I'm screwed. You know what I mean? So I kind of sat there, but then all the prices were just ridiculous, like beyond ridiculous. I actually was on one of your YouTube videos before talking about all this, so this is all a recap too. But
yeah, a bunch of people were selling some stuff because of all
bunch
this.
of people were selling everything. So I bought a tent company out of Pennsylvania, like not the whole company, but most of a lot of the stuff that was still left, like 30 tables, a whole bunch of chairs, blah blah blah. I listed it out in the previous video. Then I bought 5 bounce houses out and a water slide and stuff like that. Bounce house, water slide over in Ohio. Then I bought 3 more locally. Then I bought 1 new. Then everything picked up like crazy. So then I had to go buy another water slide.
Right. That was the crazy thing from talking to you throughout the summer was you were sending out bounce houses like crazy. And then once you were telling me, it made sense because everyone was cooped up at home and they wanted something for their kids to do. And even though it seems counterintuitive, getting into a bounce house business during a pandemic, it was actually like a good move.
The prices were so good that I was going to sit on it, and maybe next year. I didn't think it was going to last. This was going to be as long as it did. So I just decided, okay, I'll sit on it and I'll still be fine. Because at the time it was only like 10. Well, now I have 20 and then 20 banners because I ended up buying some more too. I bought those new ones, and I went and bought a bunch of stuff in Massachusetts recently. Got a dunk tank. I got a warehouse.
All during a pandemic.
All during a pandemic.
Yeah, so that's cool. So next year, it's going to just even be better.
Hopefully. Yeah, maybe actually have corporate. I had schools lined up for this year and all that already before when I first bought it. That's another reason I bought the first 5. Because I was supposed to have a school lined up and all that. The dude called me, had the date booked and everything. That was money towards the original investment.
Right.
No, you know what I mean? Why the fuck? Why would you know what I mean? Why would I even Jew the guy down at $6,000? You know what I mean? $5,000 when you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just weird.
And then you also bought 2 new frame tents this year to do a
so
room tent.
I got a phone call off because Google, even though I don't rank well at all, I guess that's another thing. Anybody who's listening, people can tell you that your SEO doesn't work or you're not ranking well or anything, but somebody around the corner, like when they Google a tent company or whatever, and that's what your stuff is, whatever, you might be in page 3 because you're literally 0.5 miles.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then I was 0.3 miles and I sold a $6,500 job.
Right. And that paid for your tents, right?
I didn't own those 2 tents. I I really order the tent. I told him, listen, it's you pay up front for the 2 months. I'm gonna have to order it special. Everything's out. I don't got,
Right.
you know what I mean? Everything's out. So if you want me to order you one, I can order you one because it's for 2 months anyways. So
Right.
you know what I mean? I'll get the cost or whatever, yada yada. We'll stock it with tables and chairs. Told him 6,500 with the sides. So it cost me probably like 5,500 with the
Right.
sides.
So
And
you made
I
$1,000
made
bucks.
1,000. I got 2 free tents out of it, and I used a
Yeah.
couple of them sides today.
Right.
So
Good. We had a question here from someone. Construction trucks. If he was to buy a bounce house and try out next year, what size do you recommend to start? Also, do you recommend a site or a company to order from that is okay quality and okay prices?
there's so many variables to that question. Your first bounce house, I would just say get a normal bounce. There's so many. How big are you? Are you a dude? Do you have a truck? If you have a truck, I would get a bounce house with a slide because you get more money for it faster. Right? Yeah, get a combo because you can rent it out faster. I personally like leisure activities. That's what I've been buying from recently. So they're pretty. They got some pretty nice stuff. They're pretty good, decently priced. If you want to get stuff, like I don't know if you've seen the last video, try and get something that has the Velcro on the front. So now when the like you can put different panels on it. So now if you get a plain one, you can order 10 different panels, and now you have one bounce house that's.
He doesn't have a truck. He's in a
little trailer. If you got, you can get a small one. Like I got one that's like you can fit. Like they don't make them that cheap and durable anymore because they make like so like you can throw. I can throw it probably like 5 feet. It's so light. But I had like you put it. It's the same size as one I put next to it. It's probably like 120 pounds. The whole bounce house, maybe 150 pounds. Where the other ones are like 250. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're saying
you got the SUV, you're gonna have to get a little tow behind trailer.
So what if he doesn't want to get the tow behind trailer? Just a 15 by 15 bounce house that's not a combo, maybe?
Yeah, I don't. A 13 by 13, really.
13 by 13.
Small ones.
Right.
But I would get a little tow. You can get a tow behind trailer for a bounce house that small for like $200 or $300, like $500.
Oh, okay.
I mean, for just one bounce house, if you're talking just, I'm gonna rent one out. But you know what I mean? It's a little bit. See, I personally was doing snow plowing before with the mindset of doing something like this in the future or something with my truck. So I can own a truck because I was sick and tired of driving a little car. So that's why I do snow plow. I tow a trailer behind all year, and then in the winter I snow plow.
Right.
So it's not fitting. But,
let's give some people some context. You are also 6'5", and I don't know how much you weigh, but you're a beast.
Yeah, it was like, oh, is this heavy?
Yeah.
You're asking the wrong person.
Right. So, yeah, we were having you do some things on some of the stuff we're doing just because you could reach them easier than us. I
did a whole tent today and stuff like that. I did all the up work and stuff like that. No ladder. Right. I don't really put ladders in there's no ladder in my truck. unless I know I'm going to need one.
He's on the leisure activities site and looking around. Okay, so he's already
get a small regular one if you're going to do it, and just you know what I mean. That's usually the whole variable thing, because if you have one where the seats go all the way down, like I mean, because I know there's people watching me from the sites. They're probably like, oh, this dude, what the fuck or what the hell? You can put it in an SUV. You know what I mean? So right. Yeah, you definitely put it in an SUV, but you don't want ones where the seats kind of stay up like this. You know what I mean? They need to be like completely flat, or else you're going to start breaking them when you put a 300-pound inflatable in it.
Right. Hey, there's also a trick that you showed me. If you're delivering a bounce house in your pickup truck, how you get it back in. If anyone wants to see that, go see one of my previous videos about bounce houses. You laid your blower on the ground next to the bounce house so that you could tip the bounce house up on the blower so it was higher, and then tip it into the truck.
The whole first key to that trick is make sure you know how to roll a bounce house, and you roll it tight. Because if it's not tight, that trick won't work that much. So
Right.
it's tight, and then it goes and leans on top of it, and it goes right in.
Right. So if you're working on an SUV or truck without a trailer, you can tip the bounce house if you roll it tight up on the blower and then into the.
It lifts it up a little bit too, kind of gets it just high enough.
Right. Because they are heavy. Like I can carry a tent, like a 20 by 40 tent, out in someone's backyard on my shoulder. But if I had a 20 by 40 bounce house, which they don't make that, but if I had a 20 by 40 bounce house, you're not.
They make some wild stuff, man.
Right.
They have an inflatable bounce house, like I2K inflatable, like inflatable runs and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like just blowers on blower. They have like 20 people rolling these things, and the truck pulls up, and you just put it right in the back of the semi.
Right. What about water slides? Because you were telling me you don't put a pool at the end of your water slide. You just have a.
I do. I'm well traveled, so I just try and take all the laws that make sense to me and apply to my state. Because like my state doesn't require you to not have a pool at the end of it. You know what I mean? PA does, but it's like eventually, what happens next year when they decide to do that?
Say you need a pool or get rid of the pool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, next year, boom. I'm not saying it is raw in New York at all. You know what I mean? It's just weird. You know what I mean? And there's all kinds of states, Maryland and different states. Like you have to put certain size stakes into the ground. You know what I mean? Because that's what the state requires you to. Whereas in New York, lets you use these little stakes and put them in the ground. So it's.
But you don't use.
There was a bounce house that went into a bunch of power lines in New York in Niagara Falls, probably 10 years ago. They're not in business anymore, but
right. But even though New York State only requires you to have little stakes, you use the big stakes, though, right?
My thing is too. I have a tent company as well, so I just use the same. I just use the same stakes.
Yeah. There's no point, and plus, you just don't have to be afraid of anything.
The point is, it's way faster to put those little ones in. That's the only thing that somebody could say. And there's days it's like there's no wind in the air whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I just insist of doing it all the time. And I use those big cones too, because I like when you put stakes in, you do tents and stuff like that. What happens when you put all the stakes in different levels and stuff like that? The tops of the stakes, it just looks, you know what I mean?
Right.
It looks a little weird. When you're doing a wedding tent, you're trying to have them all the same size, right?
Yeah, all the way in the ground.
Oh, you just put them all the way in.
As far as you can. So, like this past weekend, we hit a lot of rocks. So some of them were down here. Some of them were like up here just because of the rocks.
You can't do it. Exactly. So in the bounce house stuff, like you're putting those huge stakes in, you're putting them backyards, small backyards. So the cones all look even size when you put it over there because they go all the way to the ground.
Right.
Even though all the stakes aren't even at all.
Gotcha.
So I like the look of it.
How much would you pay for a 20 by 20 tent? If it was well, that's his next question. So for a pole tent, if you're looking for a used pole tent, if you find someone on Craigslist or Facebook selling it for $400 or less, it's probably crappy. $400 and up used, it's probably
always look at it, and it depends when, you know what I mean? Depends who you buy from, man. There's a lot of people that are just like, you know what? I'm too old for this. And they bought new tents last year. They went out all year. So look,
a brand new.
But here's another.
Oh God.
There you go. I was about to say IAPA and all the deals are this about to buy. You got till this Monday to December. You know what I mean? About beginning of January is about the time all the sales are going on.
Right. And then I think it's February or March, the American Rental Association show is, and then a bunch of companies discount their tents. But a 20 by 20 pole tent, I'm really bad at answering how much I would pay for things because I call up the tent companies and I say I need a 20 by 20 tent, and they're like, okay, and I give them my credit card, and I never get a price. They just send me a receipt later. Like I don't even care.
Tops like $600, $700, like maybe $800, something like that.
Yeah, I think a 20 by 20 top is going to be like 800 to 1,000, depending on the company. And then you got to think about stakes and the side poles and the center poles. I'd say about 1,500 for a 20 by 20 tent, but I don't really. It sounds stupid, but I don't really care about the price because I just need the thing. So I never even say send me a quote. I just order the thing.
I know a frame tent. I know a frame tent was $2,700
from
delivered from the one you told the High Peak, the West Coast, or the High Peak frame tent.
From
you told me to get from Rental Supply.
Yeah. Okay. So that's his next question. Would you recommend a frame tent, and what company would you recommend? First, if you're just doing backyard parties, I would just recommend a pole tent. But if you want
depends on your area. I live in Buffalo, and I can get a lot of frame tents up.
Yeah,
but so it's a good 50-50 mix in Buffalo, but a lot of places it's like 90% pole tent.
Yeah, that's my place. So if you're in a rural area like me, I would go with a pole tent. If you're in any sort of city, frame tent. But I really like Tent Renter Supply. They're pretty inexpensive tents.
I would definitely recommend.
Yeah, and I had 6 of their tent tops for over 10 years. And then I finally got rid of them and got new ones. But they lasted a long time because I put a tarp down when I take them down. I put a tarp down when I put them up. And they lasted a real long time. So Tent Renter Supply, they're in Florida.
Here's a tip. When you're buying your tarps and stuff like that, don't get the 20 by 40s unless you're in 40 wides. Just get a 20 by 20. And if you need it for a 20 by 40, use 2 of them.
Okay.
They're just fucking huge. They're just huge. I keep swearing. I feel bad.
It's okay. I don't know what swearing does. Randy, let's see. Randy, this dude on the right pretending he knows what he's doing. I don't know which one of us is on the right.
He knows. He's talking to me. This is Justin. This is Justin, number 2 from New York and Binghamton.
Does he know you?
Yeah. We're going to Vegas together in a little bit. He's in Yellowstone. He just molested a bear or a buffalo.
So you guys are friends. He's okay. He wants a 250 by 500 tent. Well, Justin Kenyon, you're going to have to travel the whole country to get that up because it's not going to go up every single weekend in your area. You're going to have to move around for that one. But, so the guy asking Ben was asking about the frame tents, pole tents, Richmond, Virginia. I might go with frame tent then, since you're going to be closer to a larger area. They're going to have underground utilities. So you can put the tent up in people's backyards if there's underground.
Yeah, they go good in parking lots. And it depends your demographic, what you're trying to market to, too. If you want to, you know what I mean? If you want to market to companies, like if you're going, like I love social media a lot. It's one of the reasons I'm here on YouTube. I love Facebook. LinkedIn. If you go on LinkedIn and market some frame tents for businesses, it's ridiculous.
His dreams are crushed about his 250 by 500. Your dreams aren't crushed, Justin. You just are going to have to travel, but you're going to get a lot of money for the travel and a lot of money for the hotel stays and a lot of money for that tent going up. But you're just going to have to travel the whole country to get it up. I have a friend that has a double-decker tent, and he doesn't do it in his town that much. He travels the country and puts it up. He sends it out on a flatbed or 18-wheeler, and it gets out to where it needs to be, and he flies his employees out to go put it up. He just pays like a company to bring it out there. So you can do huge tents. You just got to be willing to travel.
He's broke.
He's broke. Well, yeah, that 250 by 500. He
probably did better than you this year, honestly. No, not even probably. I know he did. He's got some cool stuff. He just bought a bounce house, a unicorn bounce house. Sickest one I've seen that they made.
Right.
Yeah. I'm waiting for it to come. I'm waiting to see it come in.
Back to answering the question about getting a bounce house. If you wanted to try it out, you want to get the one with the Velcro, like you said, so you can put different banners on it.
Well, then you got to get banners and stuff. So the more banners you get, then you got to know the dimensions of it. So don't buy it from an offbeat company, and then now you got this random like dimension. Normally they go by like 15 or 13. You'll be fine with leisure.
Right. So you get a bunch of banners. You get a girl party. You can have a princess or
like if you look up the same theme, the bounce house in the last video that we did, that bounce house has Velcro. If you look at it, you can tell the sizes when it has two of them. You know what I mean? It's like that. You know it's a 13 and a 15. Right. When it only has one, you kind of got to gauge if it's a 15 or a 13. But if you just look for the ones with two of them, that's the way to go, because sometimes you buy a piece and it's only like the leisure ones, the bounce house water slide is only a 13. So that rug grab one will fit on there, but it won't fit on like my 15. All my 15 banners won't fit on it.
Right. So you find a bounce house with Velcro on it, whether it's 13 or 15, so you can put different Velcros on it, and then you can market it to girl parties, little boy parties, whatever kind of party.
Whatever. I bought a Noah's Ark one. It was one of the banners I got in Massachusetts. I thought, okay, this is the last one to go out. It went up. It was the third one to go up. Nice. At church.
Your buddy Justin number 2 said, "Don't buy from Tim though, or don't try. He will ignore you."
So Justin doesn't want to buy from Tim because Tim just didn't. He messaged him on Facebook. Listen. Go through Elena. Elena will take care of you. Like if you can get virtual back rubs, Elena would probably give you one. Elena's awesome.
He's also asking, is the tent guy coming to Vegas? That's the EPA thing, right?
No, it's IAPA.
IAPA? I thought that was canceled and it was just the EPA putting on a party.
No, it's EPA people calling it IAPA
2020.
So that's more what it's like.
So there's a Facebook page called EPA, Event Professional Alliance. They mostly deal with bounce houses.
It's those. See, that's what's weird, man, because you don't follow the bounce house groups. Those guys are all 50-50. I know people.
Yeah, I know. They talk about tents.
Just once you see bounce house, you're like, oh, bounce houses.
Well, no, I don't even care about that on the page. I followed it for a long time. It's there's so much drama on that page. I'm just like, I'm done with the EPA page. I'm going back to event rental classifieds.
Oh yeah, they're Facebook, man. It's Facebook 2020.
I just knowledge.
You've probably seen way more than I have. I've only been on those pages for like a year now.
Right. Ben just wants to say he watched all my videos. Thanks. I appreciate it. Hopefully you learned some stuff.
Give him a thumbs up.
Yeah, those thumbs ups help. I don't really care if you do. The YouTube thing is so little amount of money that I don't care. I just like doing it.
I'm trying. That's why I'm trying to start doing because I feel like there's no good information from the bounce house side. If anybody's got more bounce house questions, I'd love to answer them.
Right. Yeah. Anyone got bounce house questions? Thank you, Ben, for keeping me in your prayers. Thank you. I need it right now. I'm burnt out. I am done. I am tired of this. Like, I almost want to sell everything. Obviously, I'm not going to. It's just the time of year right now.
We're waiting once he gets 3 more Airbnbs, that's when you got to watch out.
I need 5 Airbnbs totals to be able to retire, but that takes a long time to get those. But I got
Airbnbs of the caliber you want to have now.
A similar caliber.
Okay, yeah, okay. I was about to say.
I got some synergy happening next week. So the Airbnb's rented, then they rented a tent from me, and then they rented a restroom trailer for my restroom trailer company. So I get
Oh,
three things all in the one place.
finally come together.
It's come together. Yeah, it's gonna be
It
cool.
finally happened for the first time.
Yeah, and then it's gonna happen a bunch next year, hopefully.
So hopefully a bunch of flies don't invade the place, right? Like where are the flies, dude? I left I think that was like the week after I left or whatever.
Yeah,
Like that week or something. I was like, he posted a new video, and then I was like, damn.
yeah. Cluster flies. I didn't know they existed, but they're a huge problem.
Are those short, fat ones that come out the drains?
No, they're smaller than a housefly. They lay their eggs in earthworms, then they hatch, and then they get into your house so they can hibernate for the winter. But whenever it gets warm, they come out in the thousands. It sucks.
So you have to just deal with it once a year, really.
Yeah, end of September, early October.
So when do they start trying to come back in that you can put a preventive measure to keep them to come out?
So I talked to some dudes, and in August they're going to come spray. And then we also bought the same spray that they have.
Look up some stuff, man. Like look up like neem oil. Maybe like there's some natural stuff. Like neem oil keeps a lot of bugs out.
Right.
Don't ask me how I know.
Randy just set up at 2 tents in an Airbnb today. Sucks. Owner was a dick. We set up a tent in an Airbnb the other day, and they had very, very tight time constraints. We had to be there at a certain time on Friday, and we had to take it down Sunday first thing. And it sucked because the tent came down with mildew on it. But yeah, I understand it. A lot of Airbnb people, hosts, they got someone coming in the next day or even that day, and they want the tent gone. It sucks. With my situation, though, I own the Airbnb, so I can go deliver it whenever I want and pick it up whenever I want. It's no big deal.
You feel way looser saying, yeah, that tent company is a jack. Right. You like leave it to the nice guy. Like, yeah, he'll come get it whenever. That guy's weird.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like the people renting the Airbnb don't know that I also own the Airbnb. They talk to one of the other owners of the Airbnb. So it's just this weird thing. I don't know how to approach it yet, but those flies look like a nightmare. Who knew cluster flies were a thing? Yeah, who knew cluster flies were a thing? Okay, we got a question for you.
I bet you the person who sold you the place.
Yeah, they knew. I'm sure they knew. How do you respond to a customer asking if COVID is transferred on bounce houses and when the last time the unit was out before they got it? What's your options to those customers? I might cancel her. You might want to cancel her. Sometimes you can just get a feeling that
you're saying the person had COVID. Put that back up. Why'd you get rid of it?
Yeah.
Was a long one.
COVID is transferred on bounce houses. So, like, what's the time frame of COVID being on your bounce house before you put it back out?
I think it's like 4 days. He uses a fogger. Justin has a fogger.
Okay.
From the place that does the mechanical bulls. I can't think of their name right now. Galaxy Bull. He's got a fogger from them. Me personally, I just use the sanitizer and stuff like that. But I'm trying to see what the question was.
Oh.
So I could actually fully answer it.
How do you respond to the customer asking if COVID is transferred on bounce houses? And when was the last time the unit went out before they got it? So if a customer asks you,
you want to hear my real answer to that?
Yeah.
Today was the first time I wore a mask at a rental the whole time, and it was the first time I have masks ready to go, but literally, see Galaxy. I have masks ready to go, but I never wear them because there's never once has a customer come outside with a mask, asked me to put a mask on or had a mask or anything like that. And they're trying to have a party. So I don't think they're, you know what I mean? Today they had a tent because they wanted to have one outside because somebody went to a party. So he could have been exposed to COVID. So they wanted to have a party outside. Well, they had a bunch of Biden flags in front of their house. So I was like, oh, it makes sense. They came out with masks. I'm like, oh, really? I was like, the whole year, not one Not one did I have to do with a mask on, and this one I did today.
So when a customer asks you though, like
nobody asked.
No one's asked.
Nobody's asked. They just asked me if I clean them. I clean them. That's all they asked.
Right.
I've had people ask me. I have had people ask me, can they put dirt cleaner on it? And I get really skeptical. And what I do kind of is just go to the back of the unit and just see if, like, I ask if there's any bleach or harmful stuff in it. And I just kind of go to the back of the unit and spray on it real quick and see if anything happens.
Right.
But I don't know. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And then it was like the crappier one, so I didn't really care. So a bunch of sage fuel. Anyways.
Right. He hasn't been wearing a mask. People actually looked at him funny for wearing one. So this whole summer, I haven't had to wear a mask except for one job. I've actually had customers shake my hand. I had one customer hug me.
All of them shake my hand.
Yeah. We live in two different worlds. There's two different worlds that are happening. There's us and construction people and everyone else who needs to go to work, outside of the house. We got to wear a mask in the gas stations and stores in New York. But other than that,
I got gas stations I walk into. They know me so well. They'll tell some random person to wear a mask on because they might be a cop or something. But they know me, and they don't tell me anything.
Right.
I'm horrible though.
But like our world is everyone's kind of going like normal. No one's really afraid. In different worlds where people work in offices and now they're at home for the last 6 months, 5 months, in their basement or the dining room, all those people are scared. I was telling you, my wife had a party with her work friends.
Yeah, all the chairs are all spread out.
Yep. I set up all the tables and chairs, or I set up all the chairs around our center table so everyone could be close and talk. And then my wife comes out and moves everything really far away. And she's like, all these people haven't been out for months. They're all scared. And they all showed up with their own chairs and separated.
When I got scared, I went and bought a Kevlar helmet and a bulletproof vest, and I with a level 3 bulletproof vest, just to be specific, and I chilled in my house. So people, you know what I mean? So how scared are you?
Ben wants to know how expensive is bounce house insurance.
How many do you have? How many do you want to have? What type of bounce house do you have?
He's the guy who asked just buying one to check it out.
Don't buy one. Buy. That's the back to the question. Back to that dude earlier. One bounce house doesn't work. You can buy because the insurance really could. You know what I mean? Because that's why if you were gonna do it, I guess it would be a combo because you get more money out of it. So you have to rent it out 10 times at $250. It's probably about $2,500 for insurance, $2,000 for insurance for the year.
Right.
But that's if you have like 5 inflatables or if you have one, because you have a minimum.
Okay.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the insurance is like $2,500 for a small company.
I'm gonna get some shit probably from some people in dirty looks, but everybody will tell you go to Casio. There's other insurance companies out there that'll give you cheaper insurance. Casio is good quality insurance for beginners. When you start growing, things happen. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just look it up. Just do your research. If you go on Facebook groups and you have any questions that you might not want to ask here, you can go into Facebook groups and just type in the question too, and it'll literally tell you know what I mean. Hey, is Omega Inflatables a good place to buy from? No, it is not. Search that anywhere. They'll tell you. Do not buy from them. They're like
right. So Ben, even though I just kind of canned the EPA page, the Event Professional Alliance, you might want to join the Facebook Event Professional Alliance page, and they can answer questions. And everyone does answer the questions, and they're more than willing to tell you if one company sucks or not.
Exactly. Not only that, but you don't have to ask that too. You can go in a search bar and like some things that have been asked a million times, Like, do not ask, is Omega Inflatables a good company publicly? Just look up Omega Inflatables in the search thing, and then literally a bunch of other people would have asked it already, and start reading those comments, and they're gonna be just as like I am, and be like, for crying out loud, no, do not, because they spend so much in ads, because they rip so many people off, or just putting out junk.
Omega Inflatables, no good.
No.
Cool. Does anyone have any more quick bounce house questions or any funny things to say? We'll let that go for a second. How's your eBay going with your Pokemon cards?
Oh, I put this isn't on eBay, but this is an $800 card right here.
Nice. How did you get? There was a few Pokemon cards you got for cheap. How did you get those? Was it a trade for a bounce house, or was it?
What do you mean? The fish tank?
No, the Pokemon cards.
The fish tank. It was the guy was looking for a fish tank. It said 3 Charizards for $1,000. One was graded 8.5. Beckett. So that's worth about $750 at the time. Now it's already like $859. So I was like, okay, well, then he had 2 other ones, and even if they're graded at like a 1, it's over like $150. So no matter what, it's worth it. And then he wanted a fish tank. He's like $1,000 or looking for a fish tank for like a big fish tank. And I had like a 200-gallon fish tank. So then he didn't want the fish tank. He ended up getting the filters off me, and I'm giving him like $900 or something.
Right, but you made your money back on those cards, though, right?
Oh, they're already worth more. I'm not. Listen, I'm just keeping them for 25 years. Okay. 50th anniversary, 25th anniversary of Pokemon's going on next year. Logan Paul just is about to open up a $200,000 Pokemon box. The Pokemon world is insane right now. I got some other stuff here too.
So what you're saying is you're a nerd.
I went to this guy's warehouse, and he's got this table with just, this is Magic the Gathering cards, and then this right here is a Star Wars game that never took off. What was it?
Yeah, you're making fun of me. I made a table out of Magic cards.
Hey, did you know that Pokemon outgrosses Marvel, Harry Potter, and all kinds of stuff?
But it doesn't outgross Magic, though, right?
It outgrows Magic by a long.
I don't think it does.
It outgrosses Marvel. It outgrosses Disney. I don't know about Disney, but it outgrosses Marvel. Right.
Now we're getting too nerdy here. Let's bring it back to bounce houses.
Yeah, let's get it back to tents and bounce houses. The entrepreneur trail. So what do you do in the winter when it slows down?
Me?
Yeah.
While previous winters, I was still doing deliveries of tables and chairs and dishes like every week, like at least 3 orders a week. This winter, it's going to be nothing. So I've been saving my money. But even before this year, I would save my money to get through the year. Mostly, I go to the warehouse and clean things and fix things. And last winter, I built a bar trailer. So that took most of the winter. But to get through the winter, I mostly just save money. And then
you already saved the money to get through the winter pretty much because you don't have any income in the winter. You're not planning on any income in the winter this year at all.
I'm not planning on any income this winter. I have saved enough money to get through June of next year just in case. I usually start up tents beginning of May, but just in case stuff happens or still keeps going on, I saved up enough money to get me through June.
Yeah, so you'll definitely be fine then.
Yeah,
I mean, got stuff to sell.
Yeah, if anyone's in this business, that's what you want to do. You're not going to get that much money in the winter if you're just starting out. I generally still do get a lot of money in the winter just from all those tables and chairs and dishes, but I still don't think about that money because it's not kind of guaranteed. I just save a bunch to get through the winter.
Yeah, exactly. Like I already paid my warehouse out for the winter.
What's the best way to promote your bounce house business marketing wise?
So the best way to run your business and promote your business is to have rental software. But it was a weird year, so I went for it, but then I did not have time because I was just going hard. I'm really good at marketing, I guess. So I went hard on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, right. Facebook
Very
Marketplace.
hard, to the point where I was having I had everything out constantly for the most part. It was getting I could barely handle it.
Right.
Like everybody's like pumped for 4th of July. It's like Jesus, this is Wednesday. Like, you know what I mean? So, but it was one truck. So that's Facebook Market, but it's so hard because I take a lot of my marketing skills from being in the carnival. So it's, you know what I mean? I just do little, there's all little things. Join those Facebook groups, and a lot of people will freely look at your site and just like, yo, if you do this, you'll make more money just doing this.
Right.
Change it from this to this, and you'll just make more money. Watch if you anything with tents and stuff like that, watch Adam's channel. He'll show you a bunch of little stuff. Well, if you like this year, I'm marketing. I'm doing it because I'm first is my first year in business.
Right.
So, but I've done this for other people for years. So pricing is a whole nother thing to me because I make money in the long run no matter what. But are you leaving money on the table, right?
Right.
And it's a big
yeah.
So I have tiers.
Don't price yourself. Don't price yourself much lower than the competition because you're leaving money on the table.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have chairs at $1.50 because most of my competition has it at $2 or $1.85 or something like that. I think next year I'm just going to $2, $2.50 for the white ones because everybody just does the $1.50 chairs and nobody touches the white ones. Right. And then $3 for the resins because then I'm still the cheapest resins in town.
Really? That's cool. So I learned this lesson in my first few years when I first started out. I was at a 20 by 20 at $100. My competition was like $200.
Oh no, I'm so mad that it's cost. I still think $225 or $225 for a 2020 pop up is low.
Right, but I learned that for those 3-4 years that I was setting out for $100, I could have been just $5 cheaper than the competition and still gotten it out. And so every single weekend I was losing $95.
I do bounce houses for $150, and everybody else does them for $165 around here for the most part, plus all their other fees. I do a delivery fee. I think I wasn't charging delivery for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That was because of COVID to do advertising. And then I was like, you know what? There's so many people hitting me up. I don't care. I'm charging delivery fee. People are going to hit me up either way, and that's what it was from there. So that's the only reason I didn't choose a delivery fee at first. But there's no reason, in my opinion. I take it back. The only reason you should not have a delivery fee is if you're going to be overly priced and have your delivery fee included in your price. So you're that one price, no delivery guy. Oh, well, I don't have delivery fees, no extra fees. That's the only time you keep them in there. You know what I mean?
But you're overpriced to begin with. So to go back to the question, I just want to answer a question too. I use Facebook boosts to boost some things. When I get a new item, I post it on Facebook just so everyone sees it. My main thing is Google. You got to make a Google business page as quickly as you can so that you start getting ranked. And I also pay for Google AdWords, which at this point I'm only paying like $30 a month. But before I was paying more. But because no one around me knows how to use Google AdWords, I don't have to pay that much.
Don't wait on your Google My Business either, because it takes like a week for them to send you that letter, and you have to put the code in and all that. So say, oh, I want to start ranking and all that like soon. I want to do this, or I'm talking to somebody for my website and they want me to have a Google My Business. Yeah. Well, now you're in a week waiting thing because you don't have one.
So do your Google business page as fast as you can.
You can have all your products on Google My Business listed.
Yeah, that's a new thing. So if you don't have a website, you can have every single one of your products with a price on your Google My Business page now. It's kind of crazy.
Yep.
This is Jordan from Tent and Event Rental. How busy are y'all staying? Well, I'm insanely busy. I've got 200-person weddings every single weekend. I want to blow my brains out right now. This is the busiest October I've ever had. It's insane.
We should see if he wants to go live.
Yeah, Jordan, you want to go live? I'll send you. Well, no, we're already at.
Come on, long bit. Listen, Joe Rogan puts out 3-hour-long videos.
He's way more interesting than us.
This guy is sitting here. He's low ball. No, I watch all these long videos, and like if you're watching this right now, you'll watch a 2-hour-long video.
You play Pokemon, I play Magic. Jordan's got long hair. We're all nerds.
Yeah, well, I bet you Jordan did some weird stuff, man. I'm curious.
I bet you he's in
but that's stuff. A low ball, Jordan, because we're up here. We're so far up north, man. This guy's up in Texas.
Yeah, he's busy. I'm watching his videos. He just put a whole floor in a tent, which that's probably like
three-day long video.
Yeah, $8,000 for a floor, probably.
I put one to answer his question. though. I put one tent out today. But snow plowing. I sold 3 contracts today. So,
right. What are the best Facebook groups? So if you're into bounce houses, Event Professional Alliance (EPA). If you're into tents,
not bounce house operators.
Bounce house operators.
Then there's event rental classifieds. Is everything.
Event rental classifieds, I really like. They originally just started as this is where you go to list things, but they realized that people were coming to ask questions. So now you can go ask questions, talk about things. Yeah,
they changed the name to event classifieds and discussions.
Right. So I really like that's my favorite page, Event Rental Classifieds.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites.
PRO. I don't know that page, but that's a page. How do I price long-term tents? I would, in a normal situation, what?
You have a whole video on this too.
Yeah, but in a normal situation, I would maybe give them a 3-week rate for 4 weeks. But now I was getting my salesman thing in, and I was saying, hey, normally we would charge 1.5 rentals a week, but we're only going to charge you 1 rental a week to try to help you out during this difficult time. So I get 1 rental fee per week. But normally, if it was for a full month, I would probably just charge 3 rental fees, and this 4th week would be kind of free.
Yeah, it's been pretty aggressive with all the tents. I feel like there's a lot of people bidding on them long-term rentals. There's a lot of people going from an area, but then like if there was a certain point where if you can get your hands on a tent, you're getting it out. You know what I mean? Because all yours were out, and then all the manufacturers weren't even set. Like they're backed up and sold out.
It was very hard to get a tent if you needed one. It was like 4 weeks.
Yeah, professional rental operators is like one too.
Yeah. John loves long-term tents. Set them up and collect rent each month. I've got a 30 by 40 out that I put up in April, and I've checked it twice, and they've already paid me $12,000 for this since April.
I don't know how I got that 65 up front.
Hey, they needed it.
That's pretty much what it was, right in the middle of it.
Oh, Jordan's in Texas too, and it slowed down that fast. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh no, he's saying us. Dang, I really didn't know it slowed down that fast there. Is it normal because of weather? Yes, because of weather.
Right now.
Yeah, October. We're in October. I'm in Utica and he's in Buffalo. We're both at the same level of New York State, just 3 hours away. Yeah, it gets cold, and it's going to snow soon. Yes. No one's having outdoor parties. So like I would normally get lots of rentals for indoor parties during the winter, but not going to happen this year. You're in Texas.
I got a bounce house out next week. I have a couple of people that needed a bounce house because that's their specific birth dates and stuff.
Right.
But there's a threshold where they'll be like, okay, it's not happening. If it snows, it ain't happening on my end.
He's making $50K this week, $130K this month. Hey, that's good. Being in Texas, That's amazing. I watched your video about the
Everything's
floor.
bigger in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
How many bounce houses you got out this month?
I don't think he does bounce houses.
He's got bounce houses. I said he didn't have it on the one live, and he was like, "Oh, I got them."
Does he?
He said he was going to buy some new ones too.
Okay. Hey, did you ever connect with Travis? I was telling you about him. Remember we were driving, and I told you he's in Rochester.
I never talked to him, but I'm pretty sure that's the dude I said that I talked to before.
Okay.
Over there. I think I talked to him on Facebook before.
We were slower than we should have been this summer. Yeah, everyone was, but that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, he does a lot of corporate stuff. See, I want to do a lot more corporate. That's my goal pretty much here is to get more. I want to do bounce houses locally, and I want to do big college events and corporate events cross country.
Right. That's the big thing with
that's
bounce houses and those kind of things. Getting schools and corporate. I was just talking to a kid the other day. He's in Long Island, and his biggest things, which he lost all of them this year, are doing school fun days or town park fun days.
Field days, fun days, community days out, police night outs. There's all kinds of weird stuff. I want to try and get every bounce house company in Buffalo just set all our stuff up. Like, you know what I mean? Just like a big free for all. Just have everybody come down, and that just promotes bounce houses and stuff like that. And then hey, if you got a really cool piece, like, hey, I want that one. How do I have that one in my yard?
Oh, so Jordan does have bounce houses. I didn't know that. He's got 14 of them, but he doesn't really.
Like this winter, he only said he had like 4 or something. I'm about to rewatch that video. Pop that back up. I didn't read it.
14 units.
Oh my God. 14. Let's see. We have 14. I'm not even paying attention to that.
Hey, I own an Airbnb
and I have 20.
Right.
With the capability of because those banners, it makes it look like I have 30 or 40.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So 14 units. That's you know what I mean. That's a whole business in itself. And oh, I don't even know what happens over there.
That's the level you got to get to. I own a restroom trailer company and an Airbnb, and I have no idea what is. I
want to see Jordan do a video. Like dude. Do you see his racking system? Like if you go to big warehouses with forklifts and stuff,
right?
Like you get weird stuff. They have those racks that you can stack on each other.
Yeah.
But he builds them himself for tables and stuff.
Because he learned how to weld, which is
my
good skill.
My buddies are steam fitters, so I get spoiled.
Right.
Can you put this together for me, buddy?
I took a welding class and then COVID hit and it was canceled, but I learned the basics. So
so that's what happened? Because I was wondering. I saw you're like, oh yeah, I'm about to learn how to weld and do welding and stuff. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I want to see some more welds on this page or something. I'm curious because, dude, how many? That's probably every person who does tents, especially frame tents. If you know how to weld, how much money would you save?
Right.
Aluminum welding.
Aluminum, that's a whole different beast. I didn't get to that. I didn't get to the brazing. I didn't get to the plasma cutting, but I learned how to weld steel together. So I'm going to make some steel things this winter.
But I'm saying, if you knew how to weld aluminum, how much money would that save you?
Yeah, TIG. I think that's called TIG welding. Kidtastic Event Planners has 13 bounce houses out from today to Sunday.
Where are you located?
That's cool. Oh, yeah. Travis. Travis knows everything and has everything. He'll teach me how to weld. He'll teach me how to fly. F you, Travis. Why you got to be so cool?
When you say teach you how to weld, what?
He'll just teach me how to weld. He's
Come
in.
on, you know he's got a weird welding joke. Like, I'll teach you how to weld blank to blank. Like,
Oh, okay.
I want to hear a weld.
Kidtastic is in Long Island. So yeah, that's cool. Long Island is crazy.
Really? That's
suburbs.
wild. Every time I hear Long Island in a city, I hear ghost towns. Nobody's walking in the street and stuff.
That's New York City. That's New York City. Long Island is like
you go to
suburbs.
Long Island and it's the same thing. I was on the island. I lived on it for 6 months over there. I was in West Hempstead.
Right.
Which is really close though.
So this is what Jordan does. He found a bounce house company close to us, 3.5 hours away. We've been learning a lot from them and bought several of the units. He's going to eventually buy them. Jordan just buys up every tent company or bounce house company around him.
You want to buy me out, Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan, you can buy me out too. I am done with this year. But no, next year will be a lot better.
You know, come buy all my stuff out. Screw it. I'm Joe Rogan it. I'll move to Texas. You know what I mean? Just start doing bounce houses down there.
Right. But all right, I think we're going to call it. Also, remember, hopefully you get some sort of job from now until May that I can come out and help you out with.
I've been looking at some weird stuff. I put some feelers out there. I'm thinking about just doing a free one, so I'm going to get into some schools. You hear that? My competition, I'm going to do it for free.
Right.
So step your game up. Better be giving them free and cost you money because, well, I don't know. That's the whole goal. I think, you know what I mean? It's all this whole year. If I made $1, I would have gained profit.
Right. Well, if you do a free event, you know you've got a free laborer from end of October to the beginning of May. I'll come out because you came out and worked for me.
Right. I gotta think of something. You know what I really want to do is get into like drone footage and stuff like that. That'd be pretty nice. Like that would be.
Oh, you know who does that? Travis from work. Travis does drone footage.
You liar.
He came out and did drone footage of a 40 wide we put up last year. Yeah, Travis is into everything.
Yeah, I talked to him. He seemed like he was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into everything too.
Oh.
Well, you don't want to make a 2-hour-long video?
Jordan needs workers. I'll take you for a day. I'm hoping my friend out in Rochester does the inauguration again down in DC because that was fun. We were down there for a week.
Dude, that's what I was wondering. If you go, let me go?
Yeah, if he needs people. We did like 60,000 square feet of staging.
Actually, I lied. I'm not going.
Why?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
I got a warrant in Maryland.
Oh, okay. But
it's over bull crap, but I'm not dealing with that during COVID.
Right.
You'd probably find me, but I'm not trying to take a chance.
Travis doesn't do his stuff for money. He just learns things in my own equipment. Yeah, that's true. But all right, guys, everyone, thank you for watching. This was just like talking about bounce houses and other stuff for a little bit and bullshitting with a friend. So everyone, thank you and have a good night. And Justin has made a YouTube page.
I have one video out that I'm probably going to retract and make better. I don't know because I got a lot of criticism for it. But I don't know. I'm very new to the scene and new to videotaping. The new channel is Party Rental Knowledge. I'm not new to the industry though, but I have one video out and I'm trying to have a whole bunch more out. So stay posted.
Yeah, so I put his link in the description. You can check it out. The funny thing is, he'll talk your ear off all day long, but the second you put a camera on him, except for right now, when I put a camera on him to do the bounce house, he turned into this whole different person that I didn't even see for the 8 hours I was with him. He's a little camera shy, but you'll get used to it.
Well, it's so wild. Like I talked to 100 people and cuss them out, but put me in front of the camera, I'm like.
Right.
These lives will work out. It might be the 5 beers I drank now.
Hey, that's fine. But hey, everyone, thanks for watching and have a good night.
Cheers.